What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. It's Friday. I know for a lot of you guys that means you're looking at the clock waiting for it to count down so you can get out of work and go spend the weekend at home, hopefully playing some games, maybe spending some time with family or just playing games. I don't know. But we still have the rest of the day to go today, so let's get started. And the first thing we're going to start with today is a very interesting story because it centers around Grand Theft Auto 6. That's right, not 5, but Grand Theft Auto 6. Something that a lot of people have been waiting for any kind of information, right? I mean, GTA 5 has pretty much been milked to death now. It's shown up on the 360, the PS3, obviously the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and it keeps selling. It's almost like they don't need to make another Grand Theft Auto because, well, GTA 5 just won't stop selling. It's going to probably cross 100 million units sold at some point, probably next year. If they're very lucky, maybe by Christmas time, that's when they'll push over that mark. But for the most part, it seems like it shows up in the MPD ranks in the top 5 all the time. It's always in the top 5 in Europe. So now people see something online that says Grand Theft Auto 6 and they get really excited. Now what I'm talking about is apparently there was a stunt actor named Tim Neff, and on his resume page it says he did motion capture for Grand Theft Auto 6 along with Red Dead Redemption 2. And that's interesting because, well, we haven't seen anything in writing anywhere for Grand Theft Auto 6 at all, whether it's for a job listing like that or any kind of advertisement, leaks, nothing. This is the first time really anyone's seen anything that acknowledges that it even exists. I think most of us know Rockstar is working on it in the background, right? I know they're working on Red Dead Redemption 2 right now, mostly. But, I mean, the background has to have Grand Theft Auto 6 in there with the commercial success the 5 is. You have to put a sequel out for that game. Obviously, it's going to do well. They would probably be releasing Grand Theft Auto 6 to a 100 million user base right there, so why not? So great, Grand Theft Auto 6 is in the works right now. He's doing motion capture. Well, not quite, according to Tim Neff. That is a very elaborate hoax. He says this: "That isn't my page, account, or resume. I don't even know that website. I worked on GTA 5 a long time ago and haven't done anything since. Sorry for the confusion. It seems like I'm being trolled online really badly." And there you go, case closed. I guess that was just a hoax, a trolling attempt to get people who are really excited about Grand Theft Auto really excited about Grand Theft Auto 6. Well, maybe not, because earlier in the year, this person, Tim Neff, posted this on Instagram showing Rockstar San Diego, talking about, here we go again to another couple of days. Well, I wonder what that's for. That's what a lot of people are asking now. Although that could just be for something like Red Dead Redemption 2, for example, if he's doing mocap on that as well. There you go. But now some people are saying, well, maybe Tim is trying to damage control for Grand Theft Auto 6 actually being a thing. It leaked out on his resume, and now he's trying to cover his tracks so that Rockstar either doesn't get mad at him, or who knows at this point. Maybe there's a non-disclosure agreement. Well, at this point, it seems like maybe he is trying to control this and say, oh, it was a hoax. Don't look this way. It's not actually a thing. But it's hard to say right now. We all know GTA 6 is coming at some point. When? Well, we don't know. GTA 5 does so well, they don't really need to do a 6 right now, especially with Red Dead Redemption in the works currently. They wouldn't want 6 to overshadow Redemption anyway. They would rather 6 be announced after Red Dead Redemption has at least had months and months to sell. If I had to put a date, or at least a year on GTA 6, I would say we wouldn't see Grand Theft Auto 6 until 2019, late 2019, early 2020 maybe. I think late 2019 in the holiday season would be perfect for Grand Theft Auto 6, and that's where I'm going to assume it's coming out. But who knows what's going on here? All I can tell you now is, yes, Grand Theft Auto 6 is definitely in production. We just don't know anything about it. Where is it going to take place? Some people want it to go back to Vice City. Some people want a whole different setting. Who really knows? But that's what I'm curious about. What do you guys make of this whole situation, and where would you want Grand Theft Auto 6 to take place? Would you want it to be in an older city like a Vice City, or do you want them to kind of maybe expand their horizons and go anywhere else, different places in the world, maybe a different made-up city in the United States? Let me know what you guys think. I'm very curious. Next up, let's talk about some retro gaming here, specifically the market for retro games, which I think personally has gotten out of control. I think a lot of people agree with that. When you get stuff like sealed games that go for astronomical amounts for something that you're not going to play, you're going to put on your shelf, it starts to kind of beg the question of, well, why? And in this case, a game sold on eBay for $30,000. Now, this auction ended. It was between a bunch of different people, so it wasn't like the person just put it up there. And actually, the person who did put it up is from DK Oldies, which is like like, I guess like a retro game exchange kind of store company. Think of like, I would assume like an East Starland, for example, a JJ Games. East Starland might be a little bigger actually, more like a JJ Games on eBay. If you've shopped for retro games on eBay, you know what I'm talking about. I actually got a lot of my donor carts from back in the day from some of these places. And in this case, they apparently came across this. It had it in their office for the longest time. I guess they were like, well, let's put it up and see what happens. And somehow it managed to sell for over $30,000. Now, according to people on a lot of retro game forums, this is one of the first prints of Mario, like the first print, like something that would have been in the first week, never been opened, fully sealed, perfect condition. It wasn't graded, but grading is weird anyway. I mean, really, the people who grade them aren't generally professional graders. You have to find the exact place to go, and really, I mean, it's just a number then. You just want to make sure it's not resealed, which this one does not appear to be because it has the wall hanger tag. Also from Caldor. I remember Caldor. That was actually a pretty cool store. When I was younger, you'd get dropped off at the front where there are all these like mechanical, cars and stuff and there'd be TVs up front. I just remember watching like Aladdin while I was hanging out when my parents shopped, but enough of that. This game, though, for 30 grand, you have to really stop and think, is this really worth that kind of money? For one, you're not going to actually play it. For two, it's a very common game. Like, when it's separated from the box, it's not expensive at all. 10, 15 bucks maybe at the most. They're not rare. So really, person spent 30 grand. Apparently they did pay up. So that game is going out, I assume, with some serious insurance on it. It's going to arrive there. They're going to take it out and they're going to put it on their shelf along with their collection. So I assume their collection is very good now, or you don't put 30 grand out. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's worth spending $30,000? Yes, guys, the price of a really nice car is going towards an NES game that will never be opened or played. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts here? I've never gotten the whole mystique of buying games like that. I mean, seriously, the money can go towards so many other things that you're actually going to use and play. I mean, at least buy a game. If you're going to spend a couple $100 on a game, at least get one you're going to play. Like Mega Man X3, that's $200 or so. Yeah, I would play it if I had it, right? But who knows there. Oh, and a real quick update. Zen Studios put out the update for Infinite Golf. It's out today on the Switch, according to them, July 28th. So check it out. It's there. The game looks cool. I'm going to do a gameplay video on it, but man, so many games just randomly came out today that I need to check out, like Namco Museum, that, and there's a few others as well that I may be forgetting off the top of my head, but I remember looking at it and I was like, oh my gosh, so much stuff is out. The 2DS XL came out today that I have to make sure I get a hold of so we can do a disassembly of it, and there's a lot of stuff, but check it out if you're a fan of like the mini golf games and you like building your own courses. All of that is available and you can download it from the community. I'm going to check it out. Seems pretty neat. Good to hear they got everything worked out with Nintendo, because if you remember, I was talking about how apparently Zen Studios and Nintendo had some issues going back and forth. Seems like they got it all smoothed out, and it's coming out today. Next up, let's talk about Night Trap. We talked about it a while ago when they got announced. Man, it was like at the beginning of the summer where they got announced that it was coming back. They were going to do a full 25th anniversary edition for it, and Limited Run Games is going to pick up the physical release. So there was going to be a digital and physical release. It's all been dated. August 11th, you can start your purchase from Limited Run Games. It's going to be very limited if the title does not tell you that, but it's going to be very hard to get. So you're going to have to sign into the website right away. I would put your email notifications on because they will tell you when it's ready to roll, and then go in there and get it purchased. Otherwise, August 15th, you'll see it on the PC in terms of like digital along with PS4. So you can go on Steam and download your PC, or you can download it right on your PS4. Should be fun. I actually want to do some gameplay of it because I remember Night Trap from way back in the day. A friend of mine down the street had it on their Sega CD. I didn't have a Sega CD at the time. I had a Super Nintendo and just a Genesis, just a regular Genesis. So it was cool to see that, but it was definitely a game that was geared towards, I guess, an older audience that was not us. But I would like to check it out, and they're going to be upscaling it, making it look much better through 1080p on your monitor. Should be neat, but that's out August 15th if you want the physical. Really nice looking collector's edition, by the way. August 11th on Limited Run Games. Next up, if you were one of the people who wanted to try out Destiny 2 on your PC, and you're kind of annoyed that there was a beta for the console version with the PS4, for example, and none for the PC at the time, well, you're in luck, because they gave us a date for the PC version. If you are pre-ordered, you will get access August 28th. If you have not pre-ordered, the beta will open to everyone August 29th. It'll run to the 31st. They also gave us minimum system specs, which also included an ATI 7850. The recommended specs, for example, is in the neighborhood of a GTX 970, which is about right for recommended specs. That means you could probably get 60 frames per second with a GTX 970 and maybe like an i5, somewhere in the 3000 series. i7 definitely, but At that point, you just need a halfway decent GPU, one that's been released in the past couple years, in the mid to high end, just to make sure you can get a good resolution and good frame rate. Because that's why everyone's buying Destiny 2 on the PC. If you are, it's because you know there's a 60 frames per second option, whereas with the console versions right now, as far as we know, it's 30 frames per second. But if you've never tried Destiny because you've been stuck on the PC because the first one never made it to PC, it's worth a shot. Open beta, August 29th. Maybe take a look. It's a fun game if you've never played it before. And our last bit of news today centers around a rejection in South Korea for the upcoming game outside of Japan. It's already been released in Japan earlier this year. Coming up this year, Danganronpa V3. It's supposed to be releasing in September according to Steam release dates for the PC and other systems. But in this case, it's coming out. And South Korea has actually denied a rating. What that means is they can't then sell it in South Korea. So essentially, South Korea has banned this game. And people are trying to figure out, well, why? And a lot of people may have stumbled onto the reasoning for that. Now, if you don't know, this game kind of deals with murder with younger kids. And I know the one I played, the original one, the first one, you kind of go around and try to interrogate and figure things out and try to keep certain people alive and people die. But it all has to deal with young kids in their teens in school who are murdering and killing or dying from each other. It's a whole thing. It's a very dark game, and you really have to know that going in, or you might not enjoy it that much. And this newest one, V3, sounds like it's going to be the most violent and the darkest out of all of them so far. And when asked why are you not letting this game into the country, they have to give a reasoning, and they said this: there is a concern for societal disruption due to amplified portrayal of crime, violence, sex, and etc., when in turn would incite criminal behavior or copycat crimes. And to a degree, I can understand what they're saying. They don't want, I guess, any kind of copycat crimes coming from a very dark and violent game. However, it's fiction. It's like any other movie that would come out. Most of the time, the people who do this are already messed up in the head in some way, right? But there's also, what a lot of people believe, another reason why this is happening, and that's due to a crime that took place earlier this year at the end of March. March 31st, 2017, someone was arrested, a 17-year-old girl was arrested for essentially murdering an 8-year-old girl and doing some pretty bad things to her. So it's a pretty disturbing crime that you can read about, but really, a lot of people think that has put a lot of pressure on the committee to start really trying to weed out anything that may cause copycat crimes like this. Would a game like that cause this? No, I don't think so. I think that's just them being overly cautious from maybe trying to keep, I guess, society from going nuts over that stuff. I see it a lot, right? We see it all the time where, I guess, older people seem to think video games and TV and stuff is the problem, when really it stems a lot deeper than that into people's like psyches and everything. It generally doesn't have anything to do with video games, or in that case, movies. But what can you do? They've pretty much banned it. It'll come out everywhere else for the most part, except for maybe the typical places like Australia that seems to ban everything that is mildly violent. But I'm curious what you guys think here. Do you think video games would cause issues like these, and are they right to ban these things just to make sure, well, things don't get out of control because, you know, fiction and movies, games will cause people to go insane and start murdering people. And that's it for Newswave today, guys. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me think about any of the stuff we talked about today, whether it is the Grand Theft Auto 6 hoax trolling, or maybe he's covering his tracks. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that one in particular, because it seems interesting. We know GTA 6 is happening, obviously. You don't not make a sequel to something that will probably cross the 100 million unit mark sometime later this year, early next year. But, I mean, do they really want to keep it under wraps because Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to sell well, really well, and maybe they don't want GTA 6 to overshadow that? Also, let me know what you think about the entire Danganronpa V3 situation in South Korea. Very weird, but do you think they have a point of trying to keep the stuff out, or is censorship like that just bad for everyone? That's it for now, guys. I will see you on Monday for more Newswave.